Thank you for tuning in today. Our mission is to equip and empower you to dig in and soar higher, doing the things that you love. So get ready to live life fully.
Today, I'm going to spend a little time talking about the writing services that we offer. We offer all versions of editing. We will issue ISBN numbers, including a barcode for those authors who intend to produce their book in print format. We will also copyright the work. We offer all writing services needed to prepare work and make it publish ready. If you are a new author and you need guidance through the process, we're here for you. If you are a seasoned author and working on a current or have an upcoming project, we are here for you. We would be honored to be your publisher. And because we are a small publisher, it gives us much satisfaction and joy to be able to spend more time with our clients. We are affordable, and each project is priced to the needs of the work and the wants of the author. So give us an email. Email us at pirateheartpress@gmail.com or visit our website at www.pirateheartpress.com. And we will be happy to get you on your way to becoming a published author in no time.
If you or someone you know find that you are regularly struggling with getting dinners done and looking for quick and easy mealtime solutions, we can help you with that. I'm Roxanne Dorfey-O'Moore, an independent advanced director with Pampered Chef since 2006. We are all about enriching lives one meal and one memory at a time. In fact, I just came across a recent stat sharing that 92% of us plan to continue or even increase dining at home post-pandemic. With that, I believe that we are more relevant now than perhaps in our rich 40-year history. If you're not familiar with our name and brand, we are a company that sells high-quality, multifunctional kitchen tools and products, primarily through parties, whether in-person cooking or virtual. In addition, we offer loads of budget-friendly recipes with limited steps and ingredients, so appreciated by today's busy individuals and families. If you already know and love our products, but it's been a while since you've seen a catalog or been to a party, you may be very surprised when you do. We are definitely not your mama's Pampered Chef. We are all about helping you to get dinners done with the assistance of our quick and easy recipes and legit kitchen tools and products. If you don't already have a consultant to call your own, I would welcome that privilege. Whether you'd like to peruse and shop our current catalog or you'd like to be a host to get our products for free and at great discounts with our very generous host rewards program, I would love to offer assistance. In addition to traditional parties as a host, I also offer fundraiser parties, bridal and housewarming with registries, and a brand new exclusive party plan called Shared Rewards. That's where the host and all of the party guests earn a discount with their orders, and it's a great option for those that like to share rewards with their family and friends. It's been my pleasure to share with you today and welcome the opportunity to be of service in the future. My name is Roxanne Dorfey-O'Moore with Pampered Chef. You can also find my business page on Facebook at Pampered Chef a la Roxanne Dorfey-O'Moore.
Hello everyone, it's your girl Joy. How are you doing? Welcome to another episode of Living, and today is Sister Talks episode 22, and I'm really excited to talk to my sisters. And today's topic is embracing life's edits. And so we're going to talk about why is it so hard to deal with change. I hope you enjoy embracing life's edits. Who's that Sister Talk? Joy.
Connie.
Jules.
Kim.
Hey.
LaToy. Icky. And Yvonne.
Yay! According to a recent study, 40% of millennials carry a fear of failure more than any age group. Did you know that?
Oh.
I have nothing against millennials because I've raised 3 of them. But if you think about it, they are growing up in a social media culture, right? I can't even imagine having social media when I was younger.
Yeah.
Because for them, everything is shared. Most people only share their successes, if you notice, right? And I was guilty of this too. And it wasn't until it hit me one day during my meditation and my devotion, I realized that failure is also valuable. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And why
We
you
can
ask?
learn from it.
Yeah, yeah. But it's because what? It's
Fear. Fear of failure.
yes. And failure causes us to learn. And even when we don't want to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so I had to see it differently. And so, like I mentioned before, when I started the YouTube channel, I didn't think I could do it. Talk on camera, be consistent, and do a show every month. And for me, I wanted everything to be perfect. Well, at least what I thought was perfect. And
Yeah.
and I didn't know that 2020 was going to happen because I had already started preparing for the show, and then the world just shut down, and people started canceling on me, and I was like, "Oh no!" And because they were trying to figure it out too, so I wasn't mad at them. But you know what? I had to pray. I had to look at adversity in the face, and I had to say, "The devil is a liar. I'm going to do this."
Yep.
And yeah. And because I was obedient, I went ahead and started to show because I was going to wait until the pandemic was over. But and even when I had the SOAR annual conference planned, we do the annual SOAR conference, and we was on the road with our SOAR Women's Conference, in person and doing it. And but I was already prepared to just pivot and have it online. And I was so blessed that my speakers, I had already had my speakers lined up. Thank God. They say yes, I'll do it online. And so because it was new to them too. And so I just embraced the new way of communicating, and even sister talks. As you ladies know, we're supposed to be sitting around a table in person right now, having our little coffee or our tea,
Yeah,
little snack. Yeah, that's where we're supposed to be right now. But you know what? Doing sister talks online has allowed me to meet other women, out of the state, out of the country, because I wouldn't have thought to do it like a hybrid and invite people online. I would have just been just talking to, just the ladies in my community who could make it out. And so this has been a blessing. Yeah, because I've been able to meet women in another country. My granddaughter and I, we did we're selling some products online, and you may have seen we were selling water bottles, right? And I said, "Oh, it's going to be triple digits this week, and it's going to be all over." Well, I just recently met a lady, and it's -2 where she's at.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
Yes. And so I was like, wow, I'm just over here in my little square, my little part of the world, not realizing it's not triple digits where she's at. She still need water. She still need to hydrate and stuff. But, it's just the things that you don't think about. So anyway, this being online, and I know it's hard for some of us to, embrace this technology and not being in person, but this has allowed me to meet people that are not in my community. Instead of letting it paralyze me, I just stopped and I asked God, what lessons can I learn from this, and it
Yes.
turned out good. It turned out good because I could just not even be talking to you. I have some new people like Yvonne. I wouldn't even know her if I had just given up and just said, "Oh, I'll just wait till the world opens it back up again." You know.
Mm.
So yeah, it turned out good. So sometimes we see that failure can inspire, it can motivate, and it can teach us, and we can thrive from it. Amen.
Yes.
True. So, ladies, for our plug-in group discussion tonight, I want to ask you each, why do some people seem to be better able to cope with change than others? And what significant change have you had to deal with lately? Who would like to go first?
I will.
Okay.
I think that some personalities that are so laid back and easygoing have an easier time with change. Because if you're real set in your ways, you you can't change. But these people that have a good personality in that way can. And so that's my answer to that. And then the second part, oh, and of course, if you're in the word and if you're in prayer, that makes it easier as well to change because it's not just you're leaning on the Lord. So I think that helps.
Amen.
That's good.
And the recent thing for me is my health. I found I had a blood clot, which changed my life. I have to wear those stupid compression socks and blood thinner and all that kind of stuff. So I've just accepted it, and that's where it is. So that's it. That's my answer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
I had actually several years ago I had noticed that some people, especially some women, were able to be stronger in situations, and they seemed to be tougher and be able to get through it. And some women were not. And I talked to the Lord about that. I said, Lord, how is it that that so and so seems to be going through her situation pretty strong, and so just can't seem to handle it? And he said some women are just stronger than other women. And like you said, Jules, some of them have a strong relationship with the Lord. And that's the thing that grounds them and guides them through the situations that's going on. And so this relationship with the Lord has everything to do with how we are getting through our situations. And I have 3 different situations going on right now, and none of them are dramatic. But my one beloved daughter is moving to Texas in a couple of weeks, along with 3 of my precious grandchildren. So I know it's the will of God, but it's Heartbreak Hotel for me. So that's something that I'm going through. But I tell you what, I'm going to be a really cool long distance grandma. So we're going to get things done that way. And then we found out quite suddenly that we need to move because of things not even involving us. But then God opened up a door. So here we are. We found out about a week ago, and we're moving in 2 weeks. So that's an announcement. But I know the packing starts next week. So there, and then I just had this major foot surgery a little over a month ago. So I'm walking around with this big old foot cast, like, I feel like I'm a Star Wars person or something, But the key to all of this is trusting in the Lord. When I was getting upset about my daughter and grandkids moving, and I was sitting at work, my dad was kind of crying a little bit. And the Lord said to me, Connie, calm down. I went, okay, yes, sir. So you got to have your relationship with Jesus. There's just no other way.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Yes. Love that.
That's it.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I feel that both what Connie and Julie said is absolutely true. You have to be strong in your faith.
Yeah.
And I think that is a big contributor to people who are able to handle stress really well. but it goes a little deeper than that too. It's self-awareness, I think.
Mm.
Knowing who you are as a person and what you can handle and what you can't handle.
Yeah.
Even those situations where they make you feel like you're out of control. Going back to your faith again and calming yourself, saying, now wait a minute, why is this getting to me? And then and then as far as challenges, personal challenges, I think life in itself is a challenge. I can't say there's been any specific thing that has happened, because there's always stuff happening, and I can't really think at the top of my head of anything that has been debilitating or have stopped me in my tracks.
Yeah.
I mean, going through COVID and the whole situation financially, it affected me just like everybody else. I'm very blessed because I have a very healthy family. I have a big family, and I do have family members that are ill and not doing well, but there's a strong faith there, and I think about them, and I think about where I'm at, and I'm positive that there'll come a time after they cross over that I'll see them again.
Amen.
And so I kind of roll with the punches for the most part.
That's good.
Mhm.
Good.
Yeah.
You have to.
Really
Otherwise, you get kicked to the curb and you don't know how to get out of it. So you do need to roll with the punches. That's right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That's right.
If I could add, that's like a great segue into my answer. And I think it's important to just understand that change is inevitable.
Yeah.
So if you just learn to accept that and start to embrace that change is going to happen, then I think you adapt quicker.
Yeah.
And I think it helps with the coping. And of course, for us that are believers, we know that we always have Christ as our rock, to help us overcome and work through anything. But I would say even for a non-believer, you have to start with not being afraid of change. I mean, it's just a part of life.
That's true.
And if you embrace that, it's an opportunity to move forward. I think with that too, creates an open mind to grow from the change, which I think is a big deal. Yeah, because I know in my personality, I like to have things a certain way, which kind of leads me into the challenge that I'm having. I have a business and I hadn't been doing much with it. And all of a sudden, all of these requests are coming in for me to work this business. Mm-hmm. And that should be a great problem to have, right? I wasn't quite seeing it as a great problem. I was seeing as I'm not prepared, so it felt kind of like overwhelming. And so what I just realized is that it's not about it being a perfect setup for me, but it's an opportunity to seize. And I actually came across this quote from a man of God that I listened to. And I don't know where he got this quote from, but it said something about you have to seize the opportunity in the window of the opportunity. Oh. And that's something that I'm trying to embrace, in that it is a change. No, it doesn't feel like everything's set up perfect and I have all the time in the world and I've got this, that, and the other, but the opportunity is here. So it's my chance to seize it and move forward with it. And so I've decided that that's the mindset I'm going to have. And because of that, I'll be successful ultimately in working through it. So yeah, that would be my answer. And Christ is always walking through everything with us.
You think you might power up?
I think I am powering up because of a certain person that gave me a little pep talk about maybe a week or two ago. That has helped to keep things in perspective. So yes, ma'am, I am powered up. I am one of those female entrepreneurs that is in the making. Oh, yes. So yeah, thank you for that. Yeah.
Yes, I was going to say something. Originally, I wasn't going to say anything because I didn't know, but hearing everybody talk, I can say something. change is related to fear. And if you let the fear overtake you, you won't change. You should embrace change and feel the fear, but do it anyway. I mean, we're fearful of something that's going to harm us, and that's natural. You have to look at what the change is, and if it's not going to kill you, you're not going to die from it, then feel it, feel the fear, but do it anyway. And so the faith thing just hit me really hard because I've been raised as a Christian, but my mother went to church and that was about it. And I don't think that's, completely Christian. And so we've recently met a couple that have offered their home and offered Bible classes, and we're studying the Bible. So, and previously in the religion I was in, we never even looked at the Bible. So I really, I knew certain things in the Bible, of course, but not in depth at all. And so it's an awakening, and it helps with the fear. No, we're studying Daniel and Revelation right now, so I think it's an appropriate time to study that, and it helps with the fear of everything that's happening. What I'm surprised about is everything is happening so quickly.
Yeah.
I've never seen things happen this quick. But that's
yeah. I like what you said, Kay, too, about the fear. And one of the things that most therapists will ask you, what's the worst thing that can happen? Like when you're scared of something, they'll always go, well, what's the worst thing can happen? And then when you start telling them, you're like, oh, I guess that's not so bad. When you start laying it, I was like, okay, and what's wrong with that? And,
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was really good. Miss Vicky.
And I've enjoyed all of you ladies for what you've been saying. It's so encouraging. I was just thinking when she said about change being something that is always going to happen. Daily, you have changes that you weren't expecting. I don't know about you, but my days are never the same each day. There's always something different that comes up, a person that comes across your path. But change is inevitable. But here's the thing, it's how we manage to change. And I know that I serve a God who is unchangeable. He doesn't change. So he's got the day. He orders out my steps if I but ask him to do it each and every day. And so what I've learned is kind of do a reset, a refresh, a restore, and a renew. And you know how when you have those problems with your computer, what do they tell us to do?
Reboot.
Refresh.
Reboot.
Refresh your screen. Failure is what we say. Failure is not an option. Failure will come too with the changes, and fear will paralyze us. But we have to do it. I think it was Connie or Kay that said it, that we have to be afraid and do it anyway. We have to take that leap of faith that God has something on the other side for us. And I think as I'm getting older and as I've lived through this pandemic, I mean, how many of us thought we were going to survive the pandemic? We knew Jesus was coming back like any second, and he was going to take us home. At least we hoped he was taking us all home right with him. But what happened is we had to manage the pandemic. Changes came, changes went. My brother had a stroke in March of shutting down. My mama passed away in October of that year, and thought I was not going to make it. But God said that I'm your banner. I'm your backbone. I'm with you. I'm omnipresent. He doesn't change. And I learned that in the pandemic. And as a business person, or at least Joy, what do the coaches say? Y'all have a hobby if you're not making money out of what you're doing.
Yeah.
I don't quite think that. I may not be making as much money as I want, but there is a business in me. There's a ministry in me. And I've learned that through the pandemic. And in some ways, it's been a preparation period. That's why I say change is good.
Yes.
It's all about our perspective.
Yep.
All about our perspective. And so focus has been greatly needed, I think, in this time. And not only for ourselves, but for our families and those who don't have hope. They're looking at us. And I know you've heard this before, that you may not know it, but people are watching you. How you
Yes,
manage,
they are.
how you're walking it out. And I didn't, you know how you don't think because you trying to live and get through, yourself, and you feel the weakest link. And then to have someone, you over here doing this, that, and the other. And I said, I don't have the opportunity. I don't get to lay down. God's already given me a vision and a plan. I have to work it.
Come on.
With his help.
You can
With
make me
his
start
help.
running around the room.
I'm gonna stop now because I'm about to.
Yeah, because you want to make me don't start. Because you're making me think that I would not, be shaking.
He's shaking everything that you can shake. So that's why we have to strengthen our grasp, hold on and do it. And you be going like, I don't know. I still don't know. And I'm going to just ask you for prayer this week. I've never been on Clubhouse, invited on 2 Clubhouse platforms.
Awesome.
A Zoom kind of book launch panel discussion on Saturday. Pray for me. This is a week like no other for me. It's huge for me. So please pray for me.
Praise God.
But, the plug-in in the opportunity thing is that God said so.
That's right. You got to seize your opportunity right now in the window of your opportunity.
There it is.
Yes,
There
and
it
yes.
is. There
I
it
love
is.
that.
Well, Vicki,
Ma'am, I'm stop talking. I'm stuck talking.
No, you're fine. You started off with the words that God gave me this year. And we did the vision board party. And if you ladies remember, this is what? Your rebuilding year. That was the word. And we had reset. And she said those words. That's so good. I mean, we are right where we need to be. Thank you so much for that. I think Miss Vicki got it now. When I say power up.
The change, embracing, well, the only thing I would say is it's okay also if it takes you a little time to embrace the change. You guys were talking about one big change, and one of the biggest things was my kids all being home. That was like a huge change. But it took me a while to figure things out. But eventually I did. And then I started to see all the good things about them being home. And there was a lot of good things about them being home. The morning routine was a lot slower. We were able to spend more time together. So that I eventually got there. But it's also, it's okay if it takes a minute for you to embrace it and to start finding the good things in it. It may take a little minute, but that was one thing that I eventually got to, was to see all the good things about it. So that's all.
That's good.
Yeah, I had an opportunity too. Oh my goodness, because whenever we had technical difficulty, I had to do like Miss Vicki said, reboot.
Oh yeah.
I was laughing because as an ex-state worker, right, over in our support unit, right, we have a technical difficulty. You know what they would do? All they came is to go shut down and restart. I'm like, that's why you get paid so much money.
I know, and you'd be so mad.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some days I would tell you that it was okay if they didn't get on. I'm like, it's fine. Just shut it off and start again tomorrow. So, that's another thing, is not putting so much pressure on it either. Just say, roll with it. Start to just roll with the year and just take it as it came.
And that's, you know what, that's really good, because that's a good segue into our, when you say roll with it and give yourself some grace. So as we go to note to self, it's time for note to self. So, what mistakes do you wish you could erase and start over? And how are you embracing it, giving yourself grace, and moving forward? Yvonne.
So when I hear about giving myself grace, I go back to my business because I'm new in my business. And there have been so many mistakes that I've made because I am new and I've gone through this incredible learning curve. But like Kim said, like even Vicky said, you learn from your mistakes, from your failures, and you move forward. And I've learned so much. Um, and one of the biggest things that I have come to embrace is that I'm not going to be for everybody, and that's okay. And that's where I give myself grace, is because I'm not for everybody. And I would be so hurt and upset when somebody didn't want to hear, about my business, or they didn't want to use my services or buy our book. And you know what? At the end of the day, that's okay. That's okay, because right around the corner, there's somebody who is wanting to be a part of my business and a part of what I have to offer. And that was the biggest thing for me.
Ooh, that's good. Anybody else?
Go ahead.
I was thinking more that a number of things happened and I made some wrong choices a number of years ago. But walking through that and then coming out the right way, that was a big learning process, but it enables me to be able to relate with other people that have gone through maybe something similar or just something major. And so even when you're going through the rough times, it is shaping you and preparing you for things that you don't know that are coming. And you would not be able to be an influence or a help if we had not gone through the bad stuff. So yeah, we've all been through stuff, but it shapes us and prepares us for right now.
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Can I just be transparent here a moment, because I'm with my sisters.
Yeah.
I walked in fear. I had that, I'm not enough. I'm not good enough. And I had to learn that I was more than enough when I began to study on my identity in Christ. I had to really get that down. Now, I've been walking with the Lord a while, but when earlier on, I just knew the Lord. I knew the Word of God. I could expound the Word of God. I could do that. But I walked in fear of stepping outside the lines. And earlier on, because there was nobody that looked like me doing what we're doing right now, helping each other, building a business, having some, wherewithal and educational prowess to do it. And technical, technology is still the bane of my existence, but I'm learning different. Like I said, I've never been on Clubhouse, had to learn that really quick. But I say that as being transparent, because when you don't think that you're more than enough, that you have a right program that you don't have, even though you heard God clearly give you a vision, tell you like the first couple of steps. He didn't give you a whole staircase, but he gave you the first couple of steps. You still walk in that, I'm not sure about it. And when you don't see others doing what you do, or you don't get encouragement, because you start trying to make the steps and there's no encouragement, it all was internal. And so then when you try to reach out to people who seem to be doing the things you wanted to be doing, and they gave no help. They said they were helping, but they gave no help. And in fact, used an idea or two of yours in their thing. And so you felt like you were pulled out and kind of torn up, a little bit. And so I had to figure it out. And I just prayed to the Lord. I said, and what he said, and he reminded me, is there's no two of any of us on this line. We're all designer originals. We're all persons unto ourselves. And I had to learn that I can only be Vicky, authentically me. People are doing maybe the same things that I'm doing, but they really can't do the thing that I do the way in which God gave it to me. And once I got clear about that, got clear that it wasn't about the other people outside of me, got clear that God was giving me the vision and plan, I just needed to walk it out. And so a lot of prayer, a lot of studying of the word. I'm telling you, there are nights I just curled up and cried because I couldn't seem to make the connections with all the dots that were going around in my head. I couldn't seem to understand how to do things. And then, like in the pandemic, I think probably because I had to reset my focus in the pandemic with my brother having a stroke and my mom passing away later in that year, that I had to reset. And then the Lord had me read something in is it Isaiah? I want to say Isaiah, but maybe I'm wrong. Kim, maybe you can help me out, where it talks about the eagle soaring and mount up on wings like eagles, run, not walk, not faint. And so
41, I think it is.
Yeah, I think it is Isaiah 41 or so, around in there. And had to really take it to heart for Vicky. And then I had to let the naysayers and the haters gonna say what they were gonna say. I had to refocus and recalibrate. And if you know, eagles climb up high. They soar up in the ether. No other bird goes up where they do. They got these long wingspans.
Yeah.
And then they just, they flap their wings just a little bit and then they spread them and then they just soar. And I had to go back to the fact that it's my faith. It's the God in me that does everything. It's not Vicky. So once I learned that it's all dependent on him, I kind of relaxed. Do you hear me? I really relaxed in that. And he has been opening doors, making ways, helping me make the mental connections, because my little mind escapes me and it doesn't help me many times, but God is doing it. And so when I think about that, the other thing comes up is that people will tell me I'm more helpful to other people. I give people grace a lot, but I wasn't giving my own self grace to fall down and get back up.
That's
and
good.
so as I learned that, it has freed, I mean, really, literally, it has been mind blowing and eye opening to gather those things. And I wrote them down so that I do, like, a couple of places around the house that are taped up so that I can remember it as I'm going about the day and doing things, because naysayers and haters will knock you off your plan if you're not already God-centered and focused on that. And I said that about the eagles is because they soar high, but they have keen eyesight. Did you know that? They can see the littlest thing on the ground. And so what I asked God is that kind of vision, that kind of, do over in myself as I'm asking for grace each day.
All right, Connie, do you have anything?
I keep thinking back to personal mistakes that I made, and I wish, oh man, I wish I could do them over, But at the same time, walking through and growing through those mistakes, they're making me who I am today, and they're helping me to help other people today because I made these mistakes. Do I wish I would not have made those mistakes? Yeah. Do I wish I could have some major do-overs? Yeah. But I wouldn't be where I'm at today. And I wouldn't be who I am today. So, and I know everyone can relate to that, but it's really true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Really good. Anyone else?
Well, I have always been a impulsive person. And so sometimes the mistakes that come out of that, I wish I could do over, but it makes me nowadays just take a little more thought before I let something out of my mouth. Because once it's out, it's out. You can't undo that.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, that's more for me is just holding back a little bit instead of always being impulsive.
Oh,
yeah,
that's good.
That's good.
That's really good. Yeah,
we can relate.
Oh
for
my
sure. For sure.
Think
I was
we
going
all
to say
been
for
there.
myself,
Yeah.
for myself, something that I wish I could do over, and I'm definitely giving myself grace moving forward, and that is not allowing my life to be put on the back burner and put everyone else ahead. Probably most of that has come through my children. I don't, begrudge spending time focusing on them as a parent. But some feedback I got from one daughter was, I wish I had a saw you live your life more, because that would have been an example to me. And at the time, that didn't really cross my mind. It was just all about them, and do they have the best schooling, and what's the neighborhood we're living in, and are they safe, and all those kinds of things. But being able to move forward in some personal goals and aspirations would have been a great example for them. And they did get one. I went back to school late in my life and did 4 years straight and got my BA in business management. And I was proud of that. And they were proud of me for doing it. Thank you. But that only happened because God really pushed me towards that. I had no desire to return to school, none. And he put that on my heart, and I went for it, and I'm glad I did. But it's just things, personal growth and development and aspirations and interests. I put all that to the side. Now it's my opportunity to, let that really be excavated in my spirit and in my soul, so to speak, for God to start bringing that to the forefront, hence my business and moving me forward in things. But I'll do for others all day long. I want to make sure, kind of going back to that excellence, as you said, Vicki, whatever my hand is going to be stamped to, I want it to go really well. And I'll show up maybe for someone else and something they're asking me to do, but I don't always show up for me like I could. And so that's what I'm learning to do more of. So I've given myself grace that time has passed, but it need not be a stagnation in my life anymore. So moving forward, it is like, okay, what have you been called to do, and what are you doing to step and walk into the fullness of that? And that is my focus now. So I'm grateful. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm grateful for that. I'm like, thank you, Lord, move forward. And it's funny because my kids are like, yeah, it's about time. Go, go, go. And I'm like, all right.
That is so funny. I love that. They pushing you.
Right? They are pushing me. And I'm like, okay, all right, I take that. I take it.
That is so good. For me, I wished I would have jumped sooner, started my Equipping You for Excellence organization, like right after college, And it wasn't until one day, my youngest son and I, we were riding in the car together. And I mentioned to him, man, I wish I was starting my business because, the business is going good. And he said to me, but Mom, you were busy raising your children. And he was like, I looked at him, I was like, OMG, when did you become so wise? But you know what? He was right. God's timing was perfect. And I always wanted my own business. And because I wanted to have the freedom, of a business owner. And but trust me, when I say it is a lot of work. And so I pushed it to the back burner. And when I was younger, and I just can never imagine that I would be here. I'd be here now. And he was so right. I think he was saying too, you weren't mature enough. He didn't want to tell me that, but but yeah, I know God's timing is perfect now. So when I look back and I see the practical steps that we took to set ourselves up for success, I'm amazed at what our organization has accomplished in only a few years. So I'm enjoying what I'm doing now. I'm coaching, I'm mentoring, I'm speaking, I'm teaming up with awesome women like yourselves who are crushing their goals. Come on, give yourselves a hand. Come on. But you know what? It hasn't always been easy. And, we've had to power through. You see how I did that, Kim?
Yeah.
And to my son's point, starting your own business, it does take a leap of faith, like Miss Vicky is saying. But you know what? It's like Miss Vicky, she's doing all this stuff now. It is so much more satisfying when you know that you are making a difference in someone's life.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
And so for that, I thank you ladies so much for your support. Thank you for always, I can call on any of you and you guys are saying yes. And so I just thank you so much. And did anyone else have something they wanted to share before we wrap up? Any closing thoughts?
I wanted to say something. Vicki, you were talking about perfection. And I was listening to this podcast, and this lady was talking about how that was her struggle. And she said, I finally got to a place where I said, done is better than perfect.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I have to remember that.
Okay.
Sometimes you just got to
Get
get
over
done,
it.
right? And go back and fine tune it and fix it and all of that a little bit later.
Yeah. And my coach says that all the time too. Done. If we start making excuses or whatever, and she goes, done is better than perfect.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it sounds like we're all learning how to embrace life's edits, because it's never going to be perfect, but it's okay. You already set up for obstacles. You have to prepare for obstacles because something is going to happen. Just like I said about 2020. 2020 it happened. And I did not see that coming. I did not see it coming. Yeah. So something is always going to happen. And that's why I use the word embrace life's edits, because we have to give ourselves some grace. And another thing I say about the being perfect, another thing is that I've adopted is very good, because trying to make it's never going to be perfect, and so you have to be okay with very good. It's very good. I have to come up out the weeds.
Right.
Because I can get down into the weeds real quick as a project. Oh yeah, as a project manager.
Yeah, every little detail, you're watching it.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you, ladies, so much. This has been awesome.
Yeah.
It has been awesome. And thank you everybody for sharing your story.
Yes.
Yes.
I took a lot of notes.
I just really appreciate everyone.
Good to see you, ladies.
Yeah, it's really good to see everybody.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, this concludes episode 22, Embracing Life's Edits, Sister Talks edition. Thank you so much, ladies. I enjoyed you. And thank you. And I can't wait to see you again in October. If you would like to join us in October, let me know. We would love to have you. Sister Talks is featured every quarter. So we'll be back in October. All right. Have a blessed rest of the day and a blessed rest of the week. We'll see you back here on Living. Bye-bye.